Good evening. Welcome to Austin After Hours. I'm Taylor Ellison. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We've got a really great show for you. Here's what's coming up. Making mornings bright for nearly 3 million listeners every day. Radio personality and entertainer Bobby Bones is on top of the world with no signs of slowing down. With sold-out comedy tours, a New York Times best-selling book, and a nationally syndicated radio program, Bobby shares why no matter where work takes him, Austin will always be home. In 2002, with just $500, she launched a small jewelry collection out of the spare bedroom in her home. Today, Kendra Scott Jewelry is a billion-dollar label sold around the world. Founder and CEO Kendra Scott shares defining moments in her career and 3 words at the core of her company. And you've never seen cakes quite like this. Sideserf Cake Studio creators and TV hosts Dave and Natalie Sideserf serve up a healthy dose of treats and laughs as we get to work in the kitchen creating edible art. You won't believe your eyes. But first, we head to Swift's attic for a day in Bobby's Austin life.
We went to jail. Let me tell you what we did. First of all, we went on the
Here we
Congress
go.
Bridge.
Buckle up, everybody, because I remember this time.
This is a 2-part story here.
Beautiful day in Austin. Bobby, it's so nice to be with you.
Thanks. It's nice to be here. This is my part of Austin where I live about 3 blocks that way. No exact addresses. Although
These are your streets.
We're going to go to Swift's Attic, which is my favorite place to go. And so I'm glad that they're probably going to give us free food for this. This is the
Let's do it.
Greatest part of it here.
Oh, after me?
Yes, after you. Okay, and only her. All right, listen, let me tell you the real story.
I thought we were eating together. I thought this was a joint interview. Is it just me? Your life, there are so many amazing things going on right now. Host, best-selling author, musician. It's like you're unstoppable. Pretty soon you could be an Olympic athlete and we wouldn't be surprised.
But I feel like if I'm not doing a lot right now, that eventually it's going to catch up with me. I'm going to have nothing to do. Yeah, it feels like if I were out robbing stores, right? And eventually the cops were going to catch me. And I know that I'm going to get caught eventually, so I'm taking,
just throwing it all in
saving
while you can.
all that I can. So it's been a good run.
It seems like it. Of all those facets of your life, like what's bringing you the most joy right now?
Well, still the radio show. I mean, I love being on the radio. I hate waking up at 3 in the morning.
And that's what I wanted to know. You know, you have a morning show, but are you a morning person?
No.
Plot twist.
I'm usually good. I start to not be cranky about 10 a.m. Which
Wait,
ironically,
but doesn't your show end at 10
that's
a.m.?
usually when my show ends. And I tell my company it would be so much funnier if we just started the show in the afternoon, but they won't go for that.
So what do you say to yourself in your head? You're just excited to get up and do what you love?
I love the people I work with because they're all my friends. So it does make a difference who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I also think that's still why the radio show to me is the most fun.
You're talking about meeting all those people and that 15-year journey. Those are big defining moments. What are some other moments that stick out along the way when you kind of felt that momentum going?
Well, I think for me, when I got the morning show here, because I was doing nights, and I was doing nights on Kiss FM here in Austin.
I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, and this doesn't date you, by the way, because we're like the same age.
Okay.
But I was like a religious caller number 9.
You won movie tickets.
I mean, we lived for that.
You spent more on gas than the tickets were actually worth to
well,
get.
You know what? It was special to us
awesome.
at the time.
Yes, it was.
You were making our middle school dreams come true.
Wait, you weren't in middle school though when I was on. You just said we were the same age.
Give or take. I'm just trying to make everybody feel good.
You ever make me feel good? I'm 57 years old.
Well, I want your moisturizer. At that time, though, you were like one of the youngest, or the youngest host in a top 100 market, right?
I was.
So how did you keep your confidence up around all these people in the industry?
Oh, I had too much confidence. That was the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I had too much confidence. I thought I knew a lot more than I probably did at the time.
When you hear some of those old clips from your first years, what do you think?
I feel like if I'm not looking back at myself every couple of years, and if I'm not embarrassed, then I'm not growing. So even if I listen to clips from 2 years ago, I should feel embarrassed about the quality of work that I was doing then, because hopefully I've gotten that much better because I'm always trying to get better at what I do.
Yeah. You know, you've been through a lot of adversity in your life and kept going. Like, how do you do that?
For me, it was never about hard times. It was really the only option. So, you know, I grew up and I didn't have a dad, and my mom was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and she died in her 40s. And So for me, that was kind of the only thing that I had was myself. I had option A, which was I wanted to be in, radio, TV, and write books and do comedy. And then option B was, if that failed, keep doing option A. Yeah. And when you never have anything, there's nothing to lose. So forever I thought, wow, this is an obstacle. And as I've gotten older, I've realized it wasn't an obstacle at all. It actually has helped me get to where I am.
Yeah.
Because had I had something to fall back on, I think I may have about 3 or 4 times. I think a lot of that testing early on has defined who I am.
Your philanthropic efforts and Pimp and Joy and these incredible campaigns, where do you see that going? What's your mission?
For me, I wouldn't be here without people giving to me. And as I got older, I started to realize it was people in the community reaching out and knowing that we didn't have much.
Yeah.
And I started to go, wow, if I'm ever in the place to do that, that's what I want to do, because I wouldn't have been able to survive. I'll give you St. Jude, for example. I was in the hospital a lot as a kid. I wanted to help kids in the hospital, and I go, man, I'm only trying to help me. It's deep psychological. I spend a lot of money on therapy.
No,
over
I
this.
understand
I'm
completely.
like, why can't I go help birds? I have no relationship, but I like helping things that I understand.
Yeah.
We've been able to do some pretty awesome things, and by we, I don't mean me or that studio, but I mean we as in everybody that listens to the show.
Yeah.
And the #1 supporter of everything that we do is right here in Austin, Texas. Even if it's not Texas related, Austin related, it doesn't matter. Like, our #1 supporter is Austin, Texas, and that's why I still live here probably 40% of the time.
What's the future look like?
I might have a book coming out in the summer, my 2nd book. I never thought the 1st book would be any good.
And it was amazing and a bestseller, and the list never stops. There's so many good things.
But I also believe that for every good thing,
What's in that hand?
I don't know, a lot of turds, I think, are coming my way. Keep waiting for them. Can I say turds?
No, you can't
No,
say
okay.
that. It's
All right,
a nighttime show.
No, I can say that. Then. Okay. all
I
right.
think only good things are coming in your way. Okay, so here's the deal. You guys play a lot of games on your show. Amy does the morning corny, but we've noticed you don't really laugh much. Not at the jokes.
No, because they're meant for 6-year-olds.
The game is How Strong Is Your Funny Bone with
Okay.
Bobby Bones.
Oh, man.
So we each get a set
How
of
strong is my funny bone?
we get a set of jokes. Those
Not
are for you.
First time I've been asked that.
And
All right,
we
here
have
we
to read them to each other, but you can't laugh.
I'm gonna laugh at you laughing though. This is. Go, is this a game?
This is a game.
Right now I'm thinking of the famish of the 1800s.
No, don't do that. What did the father buffalo say to his kid when he dropped him off at school?
Yeah.
Bye, son.
Bye, son. That's not that funny.
He smiled, and there was a giggle. There was a
I
giggle.
missed. What does a nut say when it sneezes? Cashew. There you go.
You don't think that's funny at all?
I think that you're funny. I think that you're funny. Here, go ahead. Come on. Bring it.
Okay, next round.
Instead of a game, why don't we just like make each other laugh?
My sister bet me $100 I couldn't build a car out of spaghetti. You should have seen the look on her face as I drove pasta.
You couldn't even get through the joke without laughing.
This is what takes
Did that take up the whole card? Now
Try
I
to
look like
deliver.
an angry man because I'm not laughing at jokes. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit?
These are hard.
Banana!
Oh, this is my absolute favorite joke.
Okay.
How did Harry Potter get down the hill?
How did Harry Potter get down the hill? How?
Walking. J.K. Rowling.
Why'd you say walking? I just said walking. J.K. Rolling. What did the 0 say to the number 8?
Nice belt? Are you serious? Well, you know what? Can we just consider that winning the game?
Champion.
I never get them.
Champion.
Bobby, thanks for playing with
Dang.
us. You're the best. Congrats to you. Keep it up.
Thank you. I would just like to say that I was tricked into this segment. I thought I was just coming to dinner, and all of a sudden cameras showed up. So now I'd like to eat.
Bon appetit. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thanks for playing, Bobby. You are truly an inspiration. Up next, another inspiring Austinite. Kendra Scott shares how her global brand got its start right here in Austin, Texas.
So I told you were in my dream.
Yes,
my
welcome
dream
to
had a
Fairy
nail
Tale.
bar in it.
So welcome. so special to be sitting here in these stunning headquarters, about 15 years in the city where it all started. What did some of those first days and weeks and months look like for you?
Oh my goodness, I remember them so vividly still. I loved fashion, I loved design, and I was able to create a little collection. And I always say, Austin is such an incredible community that supports local businesses. And so I took this little tea box of jewelry. When my son was born, I put him in a baby Bjorn. He was 3 months old, and we went store to store here in Austin. And then the last store, I actually sold all my samples so that I'd have enough money to produce the orders I had written. I mean, I started with $500, and so made every order in my extra bedroom of our house. So to be sitting here in this headquarters with you, fast forward 15 years, is really, I could have never imagined.
When did you kind of feel the momentum shift from when you were doing the orders in your back bedroom to more stores in Austin to across the country?
I look back at it, and there were some moments where we got some good breaks along the way. So, I remember when Nordstrom wrote their first order and getting that call. I'll never forget Oscar de la Renta using my jewelry in his fashion show in 2005. And here we were, this little company in Austin, and he just saw my jewelry on someone and liked it, and asked me to come to New York. Moments like that just gave us fuel to keep going, because there were a lot of times it was really hard. Like, how were we going to pay rent? How was I going to make payroll? How were we going to continue to do what we're doing, especially when you're doing it all on your own? So, I had personal guaranteed everything and signed my life away, and and it was really a challenge. For us, the biggest turning point was in 2010. So I started in 2002. So it took a bit, right? This wasn't an overnight success story.
And a lot of people, always think they are when they see big successes. They don't realize, there's years that have gone on that journey.
Years of a lot of love and a lot of struggle. And I really realized that we needed to make a shift. I wanted to connect with our customer directly. In 2010, we opened our first retail store on South Congress. And I will never forget it, because we opened, and I was just hopeful that people would like it. We wanted to create a really unique experience. And there were people lined up around the block, and
for sure,
it was like, oh my goodness. And that was, I think, for us, the biggest shift. When we started touching and interacting with our customer directly, that's when our company went like from here to here. I've been so blessed to have great people in my life. I have an incredible family. I've got my mother here in Austin who still works with me. She helps ship orders out of our dining room to Nordstrom. She's still with me. And having those people be your voice, that sometimes, because you'll sit there and you'll think, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not able to do this. And you have to have sometimes people to remind you, you can do this, and what you are doing is good, and don't give up. I think what was important in a lot of entrepreneurs is not just sticking with it, but being thoughtful enough to sometimes get a 360 of you and go, what's not working? And be able to, change the formula. So here we were plugging along, doing something one way for 8 years, and I was like, okay, I was afraid to get into retail. I was scared of retail. And it took something big, like the recession, to happen to make me realize if I was going to keep my business, I had to do something radical, which for me was retail, and never be complacent. Every morning I wake up and I want to, create something better for our customer and wow her and surprise and delight her. I'm never I'm like, what can we do today that's going to just blow her away?
Every piece of Kendra Scott has this kind of undeniable charm to it. Where do you bring in some of those style and creative inspirations?
So when I'm designing a piece, I'm thinking about, how is she going to wear this? Could she wear it to the office? Could she wear it running to the soccer game? Could she wear it to a gala? Could she wear it to her friend's wedding? So I'm always thinking about our customer when I design. I think about a lot of our women. I think about our 15-year-old customer and our 80-year-old customer and everyone in between, and how we can make pieces that she's going to love and enjoy.
So these headquarters are truly incredible. What were you hoping to create here?
You're sitting inside my dream. I really wanted to create an inspiring place that people were happy to come to, that it felt like you were walking into my home, and have perks that women would enjoy. We're 98% women, so we have a lot of fun things, including our nail bar, which I would love for you to come and see.
Are you serious?
Yes, come on.
Let's do it. Can I move here?
we had a white hallway, and I said, this doesn't feel homey. I want it to feel like you're in my house.
Right.
So I made them trim out with all this molding, and they're like, Kendra, you do know this is an office. And I'm like, it's my home office. So even those little details were so important, because I wanted, everywhere you walk, I want it to be pretty. And then all of our conference rooms, they're actually stones. So if you reserve a conference room, like this is the turquoise room. Okay, come in the nail bar. I mean, let's talk about perks. I mean, Taylor. Talk about perks.
Unreal.
You're a KS girl, you get and boy, you get complimentary manis and petties.
This is my
For
dream
real.
come true.
Isn't it a dream?
Yes. Okay, so you said a nail salon would be in your dream. What else is in your dream here?
We have a family game room, so if you pick up your child after work and you want them to just have a little bit of time, there's coloring books and blocks and video games. They can do their homework. You know, they have a fun place. So, you know, we have a lot of moms. We have 98% women here and a lot of new moms. So we needed a place for them to be able to pump, to breastfeed their babies, and they can do that in our wellness rooms with cashmere blankets and a refrigerator dedicated to mother's milk, and they can watch their favorite television show.
Yes, you've thought of everything.
And so it's really nice. And then the smoothie bar. So my favorite thing that keeps me going throughout my day is a healthy smoothie. We have complimentary smoothies all day long. You can order them right to your desk and they'll get delivered to you. So you don't even have to get up.
You don't,
get
up. Keep working. There's a smoothie coming to you. This is so lovely. So you've obviously created such a special culture here. Another big part of your culture is philanthropy. Why is that such at the core of what you do?
You know, when I started this company, it was after I lost my stepfather, Rob, to brain cancer. And he told me 3 words before he passed, which were, you do good. And when he had brain cancer, his speech was one of the things that went, and those 3 words really stuck with me because he was telling me to use the gifts I've been given to do good. And you know, we have a short time here on this earth, and so while I'm here, that was something that was really important to me, is to make an impact, to do something good. And I'm really proud of our company because that really is what we look at every day as success.
That is so special. Ladies, thank you for this so much. Kendra, thank you for that.
Oh
that
my
is
gosh,
just so
thank
inspiring.
you.
Beautiful nails, a beautiful setting.
You just have to go get a smoothie on your way.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Kendra. Feeling glam. Up next, we head to the kitchen with the Sideserfs for cake art. You've got a seat to believe. Stick around for more Austin After Hours.
And if you want to just kind of put it right on his nose, you can dive in.
Can I really?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Natalie.
There's always ways to go back and adjust.
She's like, I can always fix this when you leave. Okay, so you're telling me I could eat this?
It is a cake. It is a flamingo cake.
It is a work of art.
Thank you.
That is so incredible. I mean, you couldn't even eat it because it's so beautiful.
There's cake in the body, and then we have kind of Rice Krispie treats and gelatin eyeballs, and it's all edible.
Say no more. It's all of my favorite things. That is so beautiful. You guys are truly artists. Somehow all stories relate back to Willie Nelson, including this one.
Yeah, so I made a cake in the shape of Willie Nelson's bust for a cake competition. My brother put it on Reddit. Crazy enough, it was #1 on the front page.
Yeah, we have a bunch of family in Scotland.
Yeah.
And so with the time difference, her brother posted the cake at the morning in Tokyo. So by the time we woke up, my dad was calling and saying, hey, did you guys post a cake somewhere online? It had already made its round all around the world.
Oh,
and it
my
made it to
goodness.
us like the next morning.
You guys were a viral sensation. Who would have thought?
The cake was, at least.
Yes. What are some of the most interesting shapes and things you've done recently?
Our wedding cake was our own severed heads, and we got married here in Austin at the Alamo Draft House downtown. A staff member took a picture of it during the ceremony and posted it online. And before we even got to the reception, it had already gone viral.
You know, nothing says romance like severed heads.
Till death do us part.
Yes, exactly.
Dave really likes horror movies, and I'm a trooper, so
I can tell, yeah. Is this what I think it is?
That is a poo emoji.
It sure is.
And you know what's fun about this one is it's actually it's a smash cake. So a 1-year-old little girl is going to just dive into that and there's going to be chocolate all over her face. It is chocolate.
I didn't even know they had a name for that. A smash cake?
Yes, a smash cake.
Where do you begin with the process?
You know what, all of my cakes start with a blueprint and I almost always make them to size. So this is to size, you know, I gotta figure out, do the math, what would I start with? So there's a 6-inch layer, a 4.5-inch layer, a 3-inch layer, and a 1.5-inch. And then it helps me kind of visualize it and sculpt it. And
who would have thought, you know, could be so thorough and detailed. That is gonna be a fun birthday party.
With this cake, the customer has 2 dachshunds. And it's for a little girl's birthday. So these are 2 hand-sculpted chocolate cake toppers that are going to be placed on top of a cake dog bed.
Oh, a dog bed, my heart is melting. What's so impressive is the detail on the face and the expression. And I was just watching a video, and even, you know, the dog's teeth and like where the drool would be coming down, all that stuff, it's all there.
Yeah, we use a piping gel, which is just like an edible, it's kind of what that you see on a lot of times on the outside of fruit. To kind of preserve it's really shiny, so we use that on, add some drool and a wet nose and eyes. There's a few little details I'm gonna add, but you can kind of get started painting some of them.
Can we?
If you wanna start.
I do. Whatever it is, I wanna do it.
Not without an apron.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Let's get you an apron.
You guys have a Sideserf apron for me?
It is gonna get messy.
Oh, with all the cooking I do at home, I really need this apron. This is some sweet swag.
So this dog actually has black ears and a black nose. If you just want to kind of dive in, it's almost like watercolor.
Except some of us didn't go to art school. So I don't know where this
is like old school, right? You add a little bit of the
dip in the water.
A little bit of the black. And if you want to just kind of put it right on his nose, you can dive in.
Can I really?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Natalie.
There's always ways to go back and adjust.
She's like, I can always fix this when you leave. Have you ever been given a request that you didn't know how you were going to start it? Like it's so complicated you don't know what to do?
Almost everyone, I think, starts that way. I mean, people have all kinds of things that they come up with their imagination.
We made a 5-foot-long pig cake for a food show. And there's a photo of me cutting into it, and it's pretty crazy. It was huge. We've also done really adorable dogs, a lot of bust cakes, characters, really anything.
We do a birthday cake for Ray Benson every year. Crazy looking, awesome cake. It's one of our favorites. He had a big cowboy hat on and all this kind of stuff. It takes a lot of planning. We have a unicorn farting a rainbow.
The creativity never ends around
But that's
here.
what's great about Austin is that we get those kind of orders and we love it.
How am I looking over here, Natalie?
That looks good. Yeah, definitely.
It's just kind of therapeutic. Is there a therapeutic aspect for y'all?
When I get started sculpting, that's when I just get in the zone. Dave kind of, he'll be like, are we ever gonna eat today? And I'm like, no. You know, I just get like really, really into it. It's just.
Well, I love that question actually. Do we get to eat any cake today?
We do.
We do.
Shall we?
We should.
And this is a smash cake, so you can just go right in there.
I was born to do that job. Now for arguably my favorite part. Dave, would you do the honors cutting this gorgeous cake?
So this is the part that I'm never appreciated for.
He also is the baker. I do a lot less baking than Dave, but this is our favorite flavor. You can't go wrong with chocolate, really.
Oh, we get to eat your favorite flavor today. And by the way, I see edible glitter on top of this. It's one of my favorite simple pleasures. Shall we?
So it's chocolate cake with chocolate ganache.
Sign me up and say no more. This is amazing. So Natalie, you have a background in art. When did it become edible art that you were drawn to? After you finish eating your edible creation. I know that's the hard part about the cake business, right?
You know, right after I graduated college with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, a friend of mine asked me to make a cake in the shape of a cow skull for a friend's birthday. So I gave it a try and I was like, super into it. I was so excited, and I look back at the photo now and I kind of laugh because I'm like, oh, that's not very good.
You're like, amateur hour. Who knew what was about to happen?
But I knew that there was potential and that I could learn and teach myself how to use cake just as I would any other art media. Wow. Actually, that's when we moved to Austin, is when I kind of had this idea. I was like, I really want to do sculpted cakes. And Dave and I were kind of like, what's our next move? So we're like, let's go to a city that would really like embrace something like so crazy as sculpted cakes.
We wanted to do our part in keeping Austin weird.
And as you guys got to be hosts of your own show, that must have been a cool experience.
It was awesome.
And you were telling Austin stories through cake and art.
Exactly.
Which is really special.
And coming up with a design that's perfect for each event is just like a super fun process. People are so curious, how does cake turn into an elaborate sculpture? So it kind of shows you that, which is really cool.
One of our clients is actually Umlauf Sculpture Garden. And Charles Umlauf actually started by sculpting lard.
Yeah. So we're like, hey, we're not so different.
Right. So we're kind of like the second generation of the
I would rather eat a cake than lard, but it's edible.
But so what was that like having Sculpture Garden as a client? Is there extra pressure there?
You know, because I have the art background, so I'm like, this is an opportunity to really get artistic with it. So we made a blue heron cake, and it was really pretty, and it was really appropriate for the event.
Because it was a garden party, we actually did a lavender flavored cake as a take on the theme. We like the flavoring to complement either the design or the theme of the events that we're doing.
That is a big thing. People always go, well, they look cool, but how do they taste? And it's kind of like, I'm not gonna put all this time into an elaborate cake sculpture if it doesn't taste amazing.
Yeah.
So we really put a lot of time and effort into the flavors to make sure that they're just as good as it looks.
And it seems like you get to have a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah.
So then what does the future hold for y'all?
So this year we want to focus on being more involved with the Austin community.
Nationally, we're well known, and even all over the world in some cases. But now we're like, hey, we want to work on Austin. We want to be a part of Austin and all these like really amazing restaurants.
And that is very good news for Austinites and anyone who loves cake. Dave, Natalie, thank you so much. Shall we keep eating?
Yes.
How much ganache is in my grill right now? You know? Oh my goodness. Delicious and truly incredible. I can't wait to see what Dave and Natalie make next. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Austin After Hours. Until next time, find us online or on YouTube. Have a great one.